Hello everybody, my name is Sophie and welcome to my book nook. Today I'm going to do like a discussion video. This is a let's talk video, which I have a few of those, and I'll put one of them up here. I think it's this side. I can't ever remember which side of the screen it is. So today's video is going to be on the subject of love thy enemy. Now, this video is going to be a Christian discussion. It is more so for Christians. If you are not a Christian, I hope you will still watch. If you want to know what the Bible has to say about this subject and the thoughts and opinions of a young Christian girl, that's what the video is going to be. So I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I thought of it while I was obviously reading my Bible and came across this verse again, this verse that I've been talking about my entire life. And then just with everything that's been happening lately, just like in the world, and it's just like there is so much hate going on right now and so much division, and the only way to combat hate is with love. And Jesus knew that. He knew that, and he spoke that truth. So in the book of Matthew, which is in the New Testament in the Bible, and Matthew is the first book of the New Testament, which is basically just about Jesus and his life. And so in chapter 5 of Matthew, specifically, I think it starts in like 33 or something like that, Jesus talks about essentially turning the other cheek. So if you're slapped, turn the cheek and let them slap you again. If somebody wants to sue you for your coat, or like sue you for your tunic, and give them your coat too. Or if somebody wants you to walk a mile, walk two. And from what I get from that, those passages are that fighting gets you nowhere. Fighting back just causes more fighting. And so then right after that, in Matthew 5:43, it says, "You have heard it been said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy." And then in Matthew 5:44, it says, "But I say to you, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you." Those are some strong words, and those are hard words to follow. Love your enemy? Bless those who curse you? Pray for those who spitefully use you? How the heck are we supposed to do that? And why should we? And what good is going to come out of it? Well, for Christians, it's going to show people that you're different. And by being different, we're pointing people towards Christ. That's the whole point. And there is just, like I said, I see so much hate, and like a lot of it has to do with politics. And like, I'm not gonna try and get very political because I don't want to be political. I stay on top of politics. I stay on top of all the issues. I educate myself because I like to be educated. But all I see lately is people on every single side hating each other. And I see people hating politicians. I see people telling voters from different sides to have terrible days and all that kinds of awful things. And it doesn't make any sense to me, because like I get that there are big issues on the table, but most of the people I know are voting for whoever they're voting for because they believe it's the right person. And so my opinion on people who think differently than I do and all politics and all that is just, you know what? You're voting for who you think is the right person, and you're voting. You're using your voice. And like that's one of our freedoms as Americans, is we get to put in our input on who should be in charge. And so you're using your vote, or voting, which so many people still don't do, and you're voting for who you believe in, so it doesn't matter to me. And yet there are just, in so many situations, politics are dividing us. And like, they're dividing us for bad reasons. And in bad situations, when we're bringing politics into it when it shouldn't. So like, John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, they just lost a baby. They had a miscarriage. I don't even know if it would be considered a miscarriage because it was so late. It might even be considered a stillbirth, but they lost a child. And I told somebody about it, and they said, well, that's sad, but, and then they went on to say how they disagreed with some of John Legend's beliefs. I'm like, you can disagree with somebody, but you don't have to let what you disagree with them with take away from your sympathy for them. You should be able to give them sympathy without making it political, because it's a part of being kind. It's a part of loving your neighbor and loving your enemy. And what Jesus is saying in these verses, love your enemy, bless those who curse you, do good for those who hate you, pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. He's not saying to purposefully put yourself in situations where you're going to have people who hate you. Like, he's not saying actively go out and like, oh, that person, you know, that terrible person that you know, and they hate you. They're not saying to put yourself in situations where it's going to suck and it's going to hurt your mental health and all of that. And that's why it says to pray for those who persecute you and spitefully use you, because you can pray from anywhere. And it's saying that when you find yourself in those situations, don't act rashly. Don't go back at them with more hate, because hate builds upon hate and violence builds upon violence, and it just spirals out of control. Like, I have a coworker who's not a fan of me, and when I have to work with that person, it can be difficult sometimes, and when things do get difficult, I walk away for a moment and I pray for that person, because I didn't do anything wrong. They're just must be having a bad day. And so you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times when people are, like, there are people who just are awful. And I say, and pray for them too. But a lot of the times people are having a bad day. And being kind to them could make their day better. Or just saying a prayer for them could be what they need. God works in mysterious ways. And, I mean, as far as politics go, the Bible also says that, I'm pretty sure it says to pray for those in government, and that is also really important. And if you're a Christian and you don't agree with whoever is in office, whether federally, state, local, whatever, you can dislike them, you can disagree with them, but while you're disagreeing with them, and while you're trying to get other people elected, pray for the people who are there, because that's what's going to be using your energy as a Christian best. Because God can do bigger things than we ever can. I've always hated seeing people so divided. And I don't know, I try to show love wherever I can. And I talked about this in the last Christian discussion video that I made, when I talked about love and how important it is to, like, love everyone. And that's what Jesus said. He said to love your neighbor. And your neighbor isn't just the person who lives next door. It's everyone. It's everyone you come across. And he also said to love your enemy. To love the people who don't like you. To love the people who disagree with you. To pray for them. To show them kindness. Bless them. And it's not our natural instinct to do those things. And I've certainly messed up. When people tick me off, my first instinct is to do things that are not necessarily always Christian-like. I'm learning to take a step back, to take a deep breath, to change my focus, to go to God. We are living in a crazy world. 2020 is absolutely insane. But 2020 could be a little bit easier if there was a little bit more love. So, to my fellow Christians, yes, I'm not telling you to stop disagreeing with people. Disagree with them. Stand up for what you believe in. Don't ever stop doing that. But remember that while you're doing all of that, if you find yourself complaining a lot about whatever it is, if it's that one person you see all the time that you wish you didn't have to, or if it's that political figure that you wish would just go away, or whatever, if you find yourself complaining about that thing, maybe start praying about that thing a little bit more too. Because I am a firm believer in the power of prayer, and I know that a lot of people, there's some issues around prayer too. Maybe I'll make a video about that. But prayer has never let me down. God has never let me down. And sometimes things suck, and it looks like it's never going to get better. But God's got it all under control. He always does. So that's my message for you today. That's my thoughts that I wanted to share. Maybe it'll connect with you. Maybe it'll give you something to think about. And remember, Matthew 5:44. But I say to you, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you. and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Those are incredible words. Absolutely incredible words. So I would love to know your thoughts. I love to know what you have to say, what you thought about this. If you think I'm completely wrong, if you get something completely different from these verses, I would love to know. I love talking to you guys. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like listening to me talk, you should subscribe to this channel because that's what I do. I talk about books, I talk about my faith, my life, movies, TV shows, music, and I do unboxings too. A little bit of everything. And if you are not already, please follow me on Twitter at Sophie's Book Nook. In the event that I have to mark a video made for kids, you will need to be following me on there to be sure that you know that I made a video. And I think that is it, so I will see you guys next time.